Hi there, Kevin Tharp here. What I want to do here is just a quick overview to show you how to use the Aptana interface when you're doing some of the work in this page layout lecture and lab when you're using Aptana. These videos that I've put up there were done using Dreamweaver, and it shows using some widgets that are part of Dreamweaver that are not available when we're using Aptana. So what I want to do is I want to go into this part of it here, and I want to show you how to start working with this file. So there's two ways to get this positioning starter file. Come in here, click on that, or you can go straight to the kevinwtharp.com and then go to positioning lessons. Inside the lessons, you'll see this position starter file. So you can either click on that file and go to it, then choose a file, save as, or you can just click on the link, right click, and save link as. And what you want to do is just save this into wherever your website is. You're going to want to, the directions tell you to create in the exercises folder a folder called positioning, and then you'll save this positioning starter file.html in there. So when you make your way to your website, go in your exercises, create a positioning folder if you haven't already, and save positioning starter file.html. Alright, that's going to bring us back to Aptana. Come into Aptana, you'll see the positioning and positioning starter file.html. So go ahead and open that, and I'll close these other documents because I'm not working on them. And you're going to start out, it's just got this very basic document here. We are going to use embedded style sheets, so we're not going to be doing an external style sheet. We're going to actually do the coding right inside of this document, and we will create the rules that we need to go forward with this assignment. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is, since it's going to be an embedded style sheet, we need to create within the head tag, before the closing head tag, after the title, we need to add a style tag. Okay, then we're going to want to make sure that we put all of our styles in there. So looking at the instructions, what I want to do is I want to give them each some parameters. Let's do that. So the parameters that we want to do is we want to colorize each of the boxes, so we want to give them a color, and then we want to give each box a width of 300 pixels and a height of 100 pixels. Then we'll start playing with the positioning rules. So I come in here and I look at the boxes, and I see that this div has a box, an ID of box number 1. So if I'm going to create a rule for that, I do a # box 1, and you notice it recognizes within the document what the available options are. So I do the box 1, then I do my brackets, drop that down. This will allow me to apply any rules that I want to box 1. So I wanted to do a background color, and then it's a colon, and I'm going to do abbreviated hexadecimal. It allows you to just do 3. You can read about that in the section on hexadecimal colors in the textbook. And then because I'm adding another rule, I need to do a semicolon. I'll go to the next line, and then I want to give it a height of 100 pixels and a width of 300 pixels. Now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose the run. Yes, I need to save that, and that builds my box. So I've given it a background color of red and I've given it a height of 100 and a width of 300. So you'll do the same thing for the rest of your boxes, just creating a different rule for box number 2. and you notice it makes the changes. Since we're not doing PHP, you can actually use this this run function to check the work that you're doing as you're going along. So go ahead and add the rest of those properties, and then we'll pick up again. Then go ahead and save those, and let's take a look at it. So there's our 4 boxes. So that's really all you have to do. We don't have the widget that allows us to just pick from colors and fill it in, but we can do all of that with the coding as long as we know how to write the coding, and that gets us ready to do the rest. So now the next step is just to start playing with some of the positioning, and I'm going to just try out a couple things here. Just so that we can see how this is going to work, and then I'm going to leave you to play with it yourself. So what I want to do is I want to come into some positioning rules here. So let's start with box 1. I'm going to try an absolute position to begin with. Now with positioning, you've got to give it the positioning rule, but then you've also got to give it some other parameters. For instance, in this one it's saying 300 pixels from the left, and then I'll add to that if I want it to be 200 pixels down from the top. I'll save that. Go back into my thing, and you'll see that box 1 has moved out of the location. So I made it absolute positioning, so it moved the red box, box 1, out of its normal location in the document object model, moved it down where I said 200 over, 300 down, or whatever my numbers were, but it allowed these other things to move up. Now if I go back and I change that to relative, relative retains the position in the document object model. So I'll save that, and I'll reload this, and you notice now that red box is still moved out of the way, but it left that space up there. So when we talk about absolute positioning, moving something out of the document object model, it moves it and lets other things come in. Relative positioning retains the location that should have been. So I'm just going to play a little bit more around with this. So let's move this a little bit further over. So I'm moving it to 350 pixels from the left, and it adds that gap. Now the thing to do now is just to start playing with this, and I'm not going to walk you through playing this. This is something that you need to do and get familiar with it. Check it out, see what happens, see the difference between relative and fixed positioning. Start playing with it a little bit, get an understanding of it, and then you can move forward. That's all I got for now. Bye-bye.